Welcome to Escape Behind the Scene. I'm Akari.
And I'm Alex.
This map holds the key to today's mystery.
There is a story, maybe apocryphal, that George Lucas once said if he had the time and a sledgehammer, he would track down and destroy every last copy of a specific 2-hour broadcast.
His own creation, or at least something born from his universe. That's an incredible image. Not just disowning something, but actively wanting to erase it from existence.
Exactly. And this wasn't some obscure fan film. This was a primetime network television event on CBS, aired only once on November 17th, 1978, starring the original cast of one of the biggest movies of all time.
And then, poof, it vanished. Never re-aired, never officially released on any home format. It became a ghost in the machine, a piece of lost media that everyone knew existed, but almost no one could see.
Which of course raises the central question, the true crime question of it all. What could possibly have been so bad, so catastrophic, that its own creator would want to take a sledgehammer to it?
And even more fascinating, how did the thing he tried to bury end up secretly shaping the future of the franchise he was trying to protect?
Okay, so to understand how this happened, we have to go back to the world right after 1977. Star Wars isn't a franchise yet. It's a phenomenon, a singular, lightning-in-a-bottle cultural event.
Right. And George Lucas is already deep into planning The Empire Strikes Back. But there's a problem, a gap. Empire won't be out until 1980. How do you keep the momentum going? How do you keep selling toys and keeping the brand alive for 3 years?
And this is where CBS comes in. They see an opportunity for a massive television event. According to Mark Hamill, Lucas saw it as kind of a favor to the merchandising partners, a way to keep the property hot.
So Lucas agrees, but he's completely distracted. The research says he basically hands over a 6-page treatment, just a concept.
And the concept is interesting. It's centered on Chewbacca's family. We're gonna go to the Wookiee home planet of Kashyyyk and celebrate a holiday called Life Day.
Okay, I can see the seed of a good idea there. World building, lore expansion. But then he steps away. He's working on Empire. He lets CBS and a team of writers run with it.
And the team they hire isn't from the world of epic space fantasy. They're veterans of 1970s variety television. Think sketch comedy, song and dance numbers, celebrity guest stars.
Wait, so they decided to merge the gritty, lived-in universe of Star Wars with a 70s variety show format? B. Arthur, Harvey Korman, Jefferson Starship?
Precisely. The result was this bizarre hybrid that no one, especially not Lucas, was prepared for. One of the writers, Bruce Valanche, even admitted the whole writing process was, let's just say, fueled by the excesses of the era.
So you have a distracted creator, a network chasing a trend, and a creative team that's fundamentally mismatched with the source material. That sounds like a recipe for, well, for what happened.
And if the foundational idea was shaky, the actual production was a complete catastrophe. It was a perfect storm of bad decisions and worse luck.
Okay, so this is the crime scene. Lay it out for us. What went wrong on set?
First, the director. The original director, David Akamba, was Lucas's guy. He understood the vision, but he was unfamiliar with the multi-camera setup of television production. He quits after 3 days.
3 days? That's not a red flag. That's a whole burning banner. So who do they bring in?
A guy named Steve Binder, a specialist in musicals and variety shows. And, according to the 2023 documentary, A Disturbance in the Force, Binder later expressed regret that he didn't get to oversee the editing. The editing was handled by people with, get this, no prior editing experience.
So the director quit, and the editors didn't know how to edit. This is already amazing.
It gets worse. The conditions on the Burbank soundstage were brutal. Gizmodo reported it was over 100 degrees Fahrenheit inside, with no air conditioning. Now imagine being an extra in a heavy, suffocating alien mask.
Oh no. So the fainting stories are true?
Absolutely. Actors were passing out from heat and oxygen deprivation. They had EMTs on set just to deal with it. The costume fittings were time-consuming, the head masks were heavy, and smoke effects made the air even harder to breathe.
That's not a film set. That's a hazardous work environment. And what about the main cast? Hamill, Ford, Fisher, they were contractually obligated to be there, right?
They were, and reportedly very unenthusiastic. Mark Hamill was still recovering from his car accident, so they had to use heavy makeup to cover his scars. The whole thing was just this joyless, chaotic slog.
And on top of all that, you have the core creative choice. The special famously opens with nearly 10 minutes of Wookiee dialogue.
Unintelligible Wookiee dialogue, with no subtitles, none. It's like trying to watch a foreign film with the sound on, but no translation. You're just watching Chewbacca's family, his wife Mala, his son Lumpy, and his father Itchy grunt at each other.
You can't make this up. It's like they were actively trying to make it unwatchable. It's not one thing. It's a cascade failure of every single element of production.
So the special airs on November 17th, 1978, and the reaction is immediate and overwhelmingly negative. It was widely panned. It didn't even crack the Nielsen top 10 that night.
For CBS, it's an embarrassing flop. They quietly decide to never, ever rebroadcast it. But for George Lucas, this is something much more serious. This isn't just a bad TV show. This is a direct threat to his entire creation.
Right. Think about it from a brand strategy perspective. In 1978, Star Wars stood for something specific: epic adventure, cutting-edge effects, a certain cool factor. This special was the antithesis of all of that. It was cheap-looking, campy, and just bizarre.
It diluted the brand. It was a misrepresentation of the lore. Lucas reportedly called it a travesty. This must have been the moment he realized how vulnerable his IP was.
Totally. It's the classic founder's dilemma. You've built something incredible, and to grow it, you have to let other people play in your sandbox. But if you don't maintain strict creative control, they can build something that undermines the very foundation of what you created.
So his reaction, taking his name off it, disavowing it, the whole sledgehammer quote, it's not just ego. It's a strategic brand protection play. He had to create a firewall between the real Star Wars and this apparition.
Exactly. He had to make it clear to the world. That thing is not canon. That is not part of my vision. It's a lesson we see companies learn over and over again. When you license your brand, the contract is just the beginning. You need deep, continuous oversight.
And his lack of involvement became the core of his defense. In interviews for years, his tone was always one of, "It happened, I was busy, I kind of let them do it, and I regret it." It's a way of accepting blame while also distancing himself from the creative failure.
It's the ultimate case study in the importance of a brand Bible. Lucasfilm probably developed some very, very strict rules about partnerships and creative control in the years that followed. Okay, so Lucas and Lucasfilm begin a decades-long campaign to essentially erase the special from history, its memory hold. But that suppression has an unintended consequence.
Of course, it makes people want to see it more. It transforms from a forgotten TV special into a piece of forbidden fruit, a legend.
Exactly. Because it was never officially released, the only way to see it was through bootleg VHS tapes passed around at conventions like a secret. The poor quality, the grainy footage, it all added to the mystique. You weren't just watching a show, you were unearthing a buried secret.
So here you have these
these two completely diverging narratives. For Lucas, it's a travesty, an embarrassment he wants destroyed. For a growing subculture of fans, it's a so bad it's good masterpiece, a badge of honor to have seen it.
The documentary, A Disturbance in the Force, really gets into this fan culture aspect, how people work to preserve and share it. It became this legendary piece of lore because of its suppression.
It's the Streisand effect in action. The more you try to hide something, the more attention you draw to it. The attempt to destroy it is what guaranteed its immortality.
Which brings us to the modern era, and the most ironic twist in this entire story. For decades, Lucasfilm followed Lucas's lead and pretended the holiday special didn't exist.
But recently, that's changed. Lucasfilm, now under Disney, has started, acknowledging it, almost embracing it.
Shamelessly owning it, as Polygon put it. Think about it. The core concept of Life Day from the special, it's now canon. It's been referenced in The Mandalorian, in games, in comics. It's an official in-universe holiday.
Wait, so the thing that was the source of the original sin is now officially part of the Bible? That's incredible.
It gets better. There was one part of the holiday special that even at the time was universally praised, a short animated segment.
Ah, the debut of Boba Fett. Right, before Empire Strikes Back.
The very first appearance of Boba Fett. And in that cartoon, he has this unique two-pronged blaster. Decades later, Jon Favreau is making The Mandalorian, and he incorporates that specific gun.
Okay, that's a deep cut. That's a real nod to the history.
And the documentary reveals this amazing little detail. They showed this to George Lucas, and his response was basically that he had no recollection of its creation whatsoever. He had so completely purged the special from his mind that he forgot it was the birthplace of one of his most iconic characters.
Wow. So the lesson here is that in a franchise this big, nothing is ever truly lost. Even your biggest, most embarrassing failure can decades later become a valuable asset, a source for new canon, new stories, new Easter eggs for fans.
It's the ultimate act of strategic reclamation. They took the poison and found the antidote inside it. The thing that almost damaged the brand in 1978 is now being used to enrich it today. The ghost has officially come back to life.
Welcome to Word'em! Hello, puzzle people! I'm Webster Gridley, your official guide to the world of Word'em.
Can we be honest for a second? You know that feeling when you finish your daily word puzzle? You have to wait 24 whole hours to play again? Who has time for that? Not me, and I bet not you. That's why we built Word'em. The waiting game? Over. Sure, we have the daily challenge. Everyone gets the same word once a day, so you can still brag to your friends. But flip the switch to free play, and you have infinite puzzles. Forever! Got a roommate who ruins your stats?
Word'em lets you create separate profiles right on the same device.
Your streak is safe with me.
It's sleek, it's animated, it's fun.
Word'em! Play daily. Play forever.